ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कया मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे बृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Thank you so much, devotees, for um, being here and letting me be in your presence. Bhagavatam classes are always very purifying to me. Bhagavatam unit always churns the heart, which is the promise of Bhagavatam also. That Bhagavatam says that, mm, I'm so focused on your happiness. Mm. So, I'm not going to give you any temporary happiness. So, mm, um, and same way, Bhagavatam also I'm finding that Bhagavatam also keeping the promise. Actually, not just finding that Bhagavatam is keeping the promise, but somehow I ended up looking for the success rate of Bhagavatam, and it was very clear there is no, non-success or failure rate for Srimad Bhagavatam. Tato Jayam Vidirayet. The same thing is mentioned for holy name also. Um, Param Sankirtan Param Vijayat, like the Chetadharapana verse. In the last line says Param Jayat, Param Jayata, something like that it comes. So if there is anything that is that is real, is only Bhagavad Dharma. The same thing with Person Bhagavatam also. Person Bhagavatam also, there are so many glorifications in the Bhagavatam. Even just you hang out in that association of Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya just for a even for lover, that benefit is incomparable in this material world. So, Bhagavatam, as Bhagavatam is always sweet, stays always sweet, although um, person like me, like really work hard um, to handle that sweetness, the bitterness of that sweetness, actually. So, thank you and kindly bless me, to get to taste the sweetness of Bhagavatam sometime, very soon. That is also the standard of Bhagavatam. No matter how diseased the person is, Bhagavatam um, doesn't put any bar, you should be qualified this way or that way. And doesn't even put the bar that, okay, be patient, it will happen. Bhagavatam says, Ashu Tatshanat. That's the standard of Bhagavatam again. So, our sincere gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for, kindly bringing it to our life and also deciding to bring it and deciding to give it also. Uh, so, Aglo Srila Prabhupada. So, I was going through this verse recently, and I really like the poetry of this verse. So, that's the reason I picked up this verse to share. It is from the fourth chapter, ninth verse from the first canto. The context is that Vyasdev starts Bhagavatam, and he starts Bhagavatam by bringing the focus to the sacrificial ceremony happening at Naimisharanya. And in the Naimisharanya, the number of sages, they're trying to do prolonged 1,000-year-old sacrifices, which is said they plan to make it a generational event, actually, because Kali Yuga is going to be bitter hard, and the sages somehow want to try their best to bring some auspiciousness or to bring some sanity in the Kali Yuga. So they're working hard, but there comes Sutta Goswami, and when Sutta Goswami comes, Naimisharanya and Shonaka Rishi right away gets into 6 questions, and Sutta Goswami asked those 6 questions. When he was answering those 6 questions, one of the questions was also related to the um, Bhagavatam. One of the question was, where do we find Dharma in this age, day and age? Because Krishna has left, we cannot find Dharma anywhere now. You cannot go find it in the temple or home or anywhere and anywhere. Where do we find Dharma? So then, Sutta Goswami somehow blurts out in the last sloka of the previous chapter. He says, I somehow happened to hear this Bhagavatam. Actually, I want to share this Bhagavatam with you. And when uh, I want to share as much I could understand, you're going to have a good time. So when he says that, Saunaka Rishi in the beginning of this chapter gets very excited. Please, please, please tell, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing of giving us a Bhagavatam, and we are very, very eager, and then they puts this question, they're keeping this question. First of all, how did the Bhagavatam appear? Vyasdeva already did all the necessary work, but why did he bring Krishna in the form of Bhagavatam? And they elaborated, he wrote this, even Mahabharata, even not only he gave the knowledge, but he even made it a simplified knowledge for all the Dvijabandhus and the Sri and Shudras and everyone. It's a monumental, humongous work he did. But why did he still bring Bhagavatam again? And then they also asking, the speaker of the Bhagavatam was Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, what can you say about him? He's liberated from the day one. Even he was before he was born, he's a day one. And they even elaborate elaborate with the shloka to prove his liberation at transcendental stage, that when he took birth, he just ran away, and although he was like naked and grown up and everyone, even the people recognized he was transcendental. The girls who were swimming, they didn't find any tinge of anything other than purity, when he was when he was going through the place. So even people recognized it, and then he doesn't stand anywhere even for more than 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but he happened to hang out with the King Parikshit for 7 days. How is that? So like that, Bhagavatam opens up, and they come to even the hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is where this shloka appears. This shloka says, Abhimanyu sutam suta prahur bhagavatottamam uh, prahur bhagavatottamam tasya janma mahacharyam karmani cha grinihina. Abhimanyu sutam suta, O suta, Abhimanyu, the son of Abhimanyu, Sutam Suta, Prahur Bhagavatotam is said to be Bhagavata person, Bhagavata first class devotee of the Lord. Oh, I didn't notice this word before. Bhagavata Uttamam. He is said to be first class devotee even before he heard the Bhagavata. Tasya Janma Mahascharyam. His birth, wow, a lot of wonder. What to speak of Karmanicha, and kindly speak about it, speak all those things to us. So that's why Abhimanyam Sutam Suta Prahur Bhagavatotamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmanicha Grinihina. It is said that Maharaj Parishit is a great first class devotee of the Lord, and his birth and activities are all wonderful. Please tell us about him. So it goes in a context here. The context is like he is such a glorious ruler, and his glorious rule is, of course, his birth is wonderful. His karma is wonderful, and everything about him is actually wonderful. But then he gives up everything, and he makes even the death also wonderful. So they want to know about the hero of the Srimad Bhagavatam also. So this part, the answer to this, the answer about Maharaj Parikshit goes actually goes for a long time in the Bhagavatam. Out of these three sets of questions, the Shonaka Rishi asked to Suta Goswami, he answers them right away by fifth chapter, sixth chapter. It will be done, sixth chapter, first 7-10 verses. From there, it starts the discussion of Maharaj Parishit, and it goes till the end of the canto, which is 19th canto. So, um, so everybody involved here in the bringing of Bhagavatam are very glorious. They're not at all, they're like, Vyasdev, Sukadeva Goswami, Parshit Maharaj, and everyone. So we'll go into the purport. The birth of Maharaj Parshit is wonderful because in the womb of his mother, he is protected uh, by the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. The birth of Maharaj Parshit is wonderful because in the womb of his mother, he was protected by the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. His activities are also wonderful because he chastised Kali, who was attempting to kill a cow. To kill cow means to end human civilization. So he wanted to protect the cow from being killed by the great representative of sin. His death is also wonderful because he got previous notice of his death, which is wonderful for any mortal being. And thus, he prepared himself for passing away by sitting down on the bank of the Ganges and hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord. During all the days he heard Bhagavatam, he did not take food or drink nor did he sleep a moment. So everything about him is wonderful, and his activities are worth hearing attentively. The desire is expressed herein to hear about in detail. And that's what Prabhupada says. So, uh, King Parikshit Bhagavatottama, as Sukta Goswami is telling here, person Bhagavatam, Uttama person Bhagavatam. And the way he is Uttama person Bhagavatam is when he was taking birth. It is wonderful because uh, he, I'm sorry, I'm getting messages in between. Because uh, Krishna has to interfere right away into his life. Uh, not only Krishna has to interfere right away, and Krishna doesn't interfere unless there is a problem. So he got problems of life even before he took the birth. That's his caliber. And then Krishna has to interfere right away, so much so it is said that he even gave a new body to King Parshit, protecting him from Brahmasra, and then giving him a new body, or protecting his existing body, whichever one we can take. So Krishna interfered from the very moment before he took birth. And his activities, what to speak of his activities? Actually, in this verses, it is mentioned. I always appreciate that part, that enemies, they decided themselves it is good for them to bring their crown on their head and put it at the feet of Maharaj Parshit and pay their taxes, without any uh, without any hesitation. Yeah. So even the enemies got convinced that it is their good by surrendering to him. That, and what to speak, that when he was ruling, he was able to check the Kali, because and Krishna went away. That's the time, Krishna went away. The darkness needs to start. That's the time, like darkness was trying to fill up, but he controlled it. He didn't let Kali enter. Mm. He he didn't let the Kali enter. And then Prabhupada also adds about his death. His death is also wonderful, that he got a notice of when is he going to die, and when he got the notice, what he did is wonderful, and what he was doing when he got the notice is also wonderful. That he just you know ekantamatir on the Bhagavatam, no food, no drinking, no sleeping, like that. So everything about him, Prabhupada says, is so wonderful, and his activities are therefore worth hearing attentively. This desire is expressed herein to hear about him in detail. So, no, we also hear Atmarama verse in the 7th chapter of this canto, uh, which which it is said famous for unlimited meanings for that verse. Atmaramasya Maniyo Nirgrandya Puprikrame, that verse. Because each verse, has so many meanings. So you combine those meanings, it's unlimited. So similarly, this is the standard of the wonderful Bhagavatam. Anywhere you touch, it is like, if, here we are talking only about the hearer of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Any part you touch of him is so glorious. There will be Jata Karma they take, it is so glorious, or um, you know, or like as we discussed, as we are reading now, the birth and death is glorious. Everything about uh, this wonderful Bhagavatam is so wonderful. Similarly, Bhagavatam standard is anywhere the one touches it, it is so glorious. And that completely satisfy the definition that Bhagavatam is Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. Bhagavatam is wonderful, unlimited. And Krishna is sweet and Bhagavatam is sweet. Having said this thing, uh, we have this wonderful pastime of Bhagavatam that it keeps going to each home and knocking. Can I come in, please? Please give me some place in your home. Just to give a little place. You don't need to pay whatever donation it takes, even to print this body in a book body. Just let me in. Give some donation. We'll give some place like that. So, and that is how Bhagavatam tries to enter. Um, ex- and and then and then you know so the way the Bhagavatam enters into person's life is, yes, like then there is a stricture. Recently we celebrated Bhadra Purnima is that you gift a Bhagavata, that's it. You got the stamping done, you got the visa done. That's the standard of Bhagavatam everywhere. You go anywhere in the Bhagavatam, that's the standard. Uh, um, so so Bhagavatam keep trying to come into the lives of lives of every living entity that way. Um, um, he already is present with every living entity as Paramatma for sure. Like you take the plant body or animal body or bird body or anything. He's not living, but this appearance of Bhagavata is much different because as a Paramatma, the communication is cut basically. Krishna tries to speak and we cannot hear. Uh, but here in the form of Bhagavatam, Krishna can speak to us. He can stand with us whenever we need, and he wants to be with us all the time. He wants to be there, guide and so on like that. So Bhagavatam doesn't stop just coming into the life. Comes and sits in the house and tries to create a auspicious space, tries to create good vibes, so much so finally at some point we may be attracted, you know, to touch the Bhagavatam. Or further we may be attracted to read a word of Bhagavatam, to think about it. So somehow or other, one comes to the point of reading Bhagavatam. When one comes to the point of reading Bhagavatam, then Bhagavatam tries to come in more by increasing the appreciation. When you and when you are appreciating, Bhagavatam doesn't stop. Prabhupada says very nicely in the second chapter of this first canto. She says that people doesn't even have a desire. You know, people, here we are all worrying about whether we are progressing or not. But Prabhupada just puts it in opposite way in the Shinvata Swakata verse purport. He says that people doesn't even desire. But even if there is a little desire, that's it. You know, Krishna is not going to sit idle. So similarly, like we are opening little bit of our door and heart to Bhagavata. Then Bhagavatam also, you know, not just to take one step, takes 10 steps. Then you start reading, and then you start reading, then like, you want to read deeper. And when you're reading deeper, then you want to distribute to others. And when you're trying to distribute others, um, we Gopal Krishna Maharaj was visiting Detroit before 1 or 2 years before he left this world. And then Gopal Hari Prabhu kindly arranged a quick meeting with him. And then that's a Bhadra Purnima time. I went to Maharaj and said that, Maharaj, we are trying to distribute 400 sets. Please bless us. Please give us the empowerment, so on like that. And Maharaj's response was very enigmatic, actually. And of course, that time Maharaj's speech was not clear. We are trying hard to hear him clearly. And he says what his response was, only 400? Why not 1,000? He said. And then after that, he said, try for 5,000. So, here we are. Somehow we let the Bhagavatam come into our home and the room, and maybe, we are trying to read, and somehow we are trying to distribute. And then, like, 5,000 sets. Right. So, that is the way Bhagavatam presence is. Bhagavatam nature is like that. Bhagavatam is the same like the person receiving Bhagavatam for the first time 18 books. You tell them, can you please take this Bhagavatam? Yes, they're ready to take one book. They're so inspired, at least to the enthusiasm of the distributor. They're ready to take one book, two books, and all of a sudden you ask me to take 18 books. So similarly, you're trying to distribute, and then again, um, we get the mandate of Bhagavatam through his pure devotees. Please keep it alive. There were, in ISKCON, I have seen, I started book distribution service in 2013. I was exposed to book distribution service, but all of us, 2012, but all of a sudden, like I was told, you're leading the book distribution. And then then I had to really look into it. What is the book distribution service about? So when I was looking into it and reading, when I was focusing on the reading and everything, one thing I understood was, it is book distribution is the heart of all the gurus. That's what I noticed. There is Indrajamani Maharaj. He's doing the he's doing these programs, drama, that in festival of indie festival, programs in countries, or like Rompad Maharaj is giving a lot of classes, or they're different. All these gurus have different um, focuses, but one thing I understood was, you know Prabhupada book distribution was always in the in the core of their heart, in the core of their heart and the background of the heart. They're always looking how to give out more of Prabhupada books, or more of Prabhupada books, how to make these books be alive, like that. So so this was in 2012, 2013, that time. And book distribution was not that active. Actually, it was getting to become active. We don't have so much active Mortal Gita. We don't have so much Bhagavatam distribution. Bhagavatam distribution, I think it started uh, 2014, 15, around that time, I think. So, mm. so when the Bhagavatam distribution started, it is so nice that, like, if you go onto the YouTube and look, all the gurus, all the pure devotees, they really like pour so much heart into it. Even this year, Radhanand Maharaj was giving class in Chicago for Radhastami. And just before that class, 1 or 2 days before, I think within that week, there was a shorts video released by Radhanand Maharaj, on the, request for promoting the Bhagavatam. So it kind of felt to me like, the voice and everything, he was not that feeling well, but that appeal is really like, when you ask any pure devotee to share about Bhagavatam, there is like, you really, you hear their art fully. So somehow or other, Bhagavatam is kind on us to uh, enter into our life. And uh, it's and we also can understand now that uh, Bhagavatam is so determined to love us no matter what. And the lesson to take here is, you know, we need to keep opening the door to the Bhagavatam. that's the main lesson I learned overall in the recent years. Uh, I happen to see a lot of reading groups. So devotees come and they start reading. The effect of Bhagavatam is very immediate. So and they start becoming stronger. And one of the big mistakes that I see was uh, once one gets stronger, um, they start giving that all energy away, or to say it other way, they don't give any energy back to Bhagavatam. So then the journey with Bhagavatam becomes harder. So when we are in need, Bhagavatam really uplift. We feel the upliftment and empowerment of Bhagavatam, and after after we get uplifted, after we get empowered, you know, we don't increase our commitment, offering, and devotion to Bhagavatam. So of course, Bhagavatam is not expecting that you give up everything and just focus on the Bhagavatam only. So, but at least a little bit in it just doesn't look good. That's the idea. So I usually say, at least give it 10 percentage, or whatever strength you're giving, increase your commitment little bit. When we do that, wow, then every day, every step with the Bhagavatam is so good. So I always like to put it in a financial way that when you have $100, that time you go and give $1, Krishna was like so happy. He's ecstatic even because he doesn't ask for anything. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. And when you do something to Krishna, obviously, we're going to get a lot of return from Krishna. That is guaranteed. It is that's what Krishna is. He's a supreme Lord. He is the Parama Ishvara, Parama Krishna. You do anything, your return is like, highest. So when we are getting the return, and then we're still planning to give, $1 only, though you have, $1,000 or $10,000, you have $10,000 and you give $1, how it will be? It doesn't look nice. So, but if we then both parties become unhappy, the reader and Bhagavatam, per se, will not feel good. So then it becomes dry. When it becomes dry, but then we have experienced the power of the Bhagavatam, then we are not ready to give away the Bhagavatam. Then it becomes sentimental, and it will be a very drag. So that is the lesson, dear devotees, that we try to keep on giving a little bit. If we don't need, Bhagavatam is not asking for anything full, just giving, just keep on giving. So that way, you know, back to Vaikuntha. What to speak of back to Vaikuntha? Bhagavatam promised gift is, much higher than that. Everything will become manifested, and it is real. As I already shared earlier, Bhagavatam has never have a failure rate. So having said that, I was also thinking about the 5,000. So 5,000, if you take, 100 people committed to 50 sets, is done. But it's a big number. But 1,000 of us commit to 5 sets every year, make it a culture. That's it. It is such a nice culture. It is such a uh, nice meditation. In all the ways, it is such a nice endeavor. It is so glorious endeavor. So, uh, but eh, we want to understand that Bhagavatam has kindly decided to come home. Bhagavatam has come to our home. Somehow we agree to say yes. Bhagavatam has decided to come into our heart by reading, and then Bhagavatam has decided to come into our life by in the form of distributing. So just you know, uh, feel that love of Srimad Bhagavatam, and be open to reciprocate. We don't even distribute even actually. Just have a prayer, well wishing. That is enough actually. So somehow or other, maybe we can all form a club or have a project of uh, 1,000 Bhagavatam give, thousand, what is it? 1,000-member club. Each of us trying to come to 5 sets of Bhagavatam. We can start with praying for one Bhagavatam and increase 10%, 10% like that. So that way, uh, the mandate of Bhagavatam will be taken care, and our place will surely become a spiritual world, and then the spiritual world just becomes a half hoof print. We don't need to work so hard, you know, you know, chant so hard and so on to enter the spiritual world, or see spiritual world as somewhere at a far distance. So that's the idea about Bhagavatam. Devotees, kindly excuse me that I went ahead of time. Lakshmikanta Prabhu left the call. Anybody want to say anything, or we can just wrap up? It's 8:10 already.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada.
You used to distribute Bhagavatam and then you stopped everything.
Hare Krishna. See how gently and naturally you have introduced the 500 to 5,000 already. Huh? I mean, I have watched you over 20 plus years, Prabhu. You were describing how Shukadev
I was not
Goswami.
even 20 years old, right?
You were 20 plus at that time, probably. And I thought, okay, you are this techie guy, you have to help Maharaj with the recording of the class and be his technical assistant. And there you grew up into simply Bhagavatam boy. I know everybody in Naperville area will recognize you a Bhagavatam person. Hare Krishna, you are just like wonderful activities of Shukadev Goswami, you were saying. Like that, one new toy becomes popular and then everybody buys that. Similarly, you have distributed Bhagavatam to everyone in this Midwest. Amazing your growth, Prabhu. Amazing wonders you are doing. And every one of your friend has become a avid Bhagavatam reader, student, and a devotee. It's amazing. And I'm wondering if you're doing any work at all at your work desk. You've been keeping your job. Hare Krishna. Amazing person. Hare Krishna. All kudos to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it is for sure the blessings of, Bhagavatam is Mahapurana, who have the ability to distribute Bhagavatam even. So when I got into book distribution in 2012, I was asked, could you be able to distribute Bhagavatam to the neighbors there like that? So I said yes. So, but then I moved to Naperville after that. So, but the best part, the first crackdown with Bhagavatam happened was at the Lemon Temple. So Krishna Prabhu arranged a book table there. And then my happy thing was to keep carrying the Bhagavatam, the whole 18 books, that's all. Keep the Bhagavatam, park the Bhagavatam there. And Bhagavatam distribution was not that active those days. So you put it and suddenly someone comes and takes the Bhagavatam. You can imagine how it was, right? The first Bhagavatam set from the event. Interestingly, after 1 or 2 years, we went for some home program. That home program happened to be at that person's place who has taken Bhagavatam, and that was the first breakthrough for Bhagavatam distribution in the events. Then 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 how did it go for Bhagavatam distribution at homes? So the same thing again, just carrying the Bhagavatam. That's all. Suddenly someone opens the door and receives the Bhagavatam. Mm. So yeah, as we say for Mahamantra, and the same thing goes for Mahapurana also. Who has that qualification? Who has that ability, or who has anything actually in relation to Mahapurana? Is a not just Vedanta. It's a Vedas is there and Vedanta is there. It's not even Vedanta. It's a comment on Vedanta. It's a internal potency. It cannot. It cannot be. It's a secret. It cannot be put out. But Prabhupada decided, and then his representatives decided, and then further representative decided. So they wanted it. It will happen. That's all. So yeah. Right, Sandhya Mataji?
Hare Krishna. I'm very blessed to know you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for all glories to the glorious people who bring auspiciousness into the inauspicious life. Yes. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I wanted to second Sandhya Mataji in the great role that
I,
you are playing.
I just
And
want to say one thing to Sandhya Mataji. Sandhya Mataji, please keep coming back. Distribution doesn't need to be distribution. Just, keep on encouraging, keep the Bhagavatam grow more and more, like as you're doing, Mataji. Please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I hope I don't make any negative points there. That is my
Please,
prayer.
please do the negative also.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavatam is said to be the all light and supposed to put the
Hare
light.
Krishna. You are very kind, Prabhu.
The idea is Bhagavatam, that's all. Yeah. Sorry, Kiran Mataji, for
no,
interrupting.
that's okay, Prabhuji. So I just wanted to say that whatever little taste I got for Bhagavatam is because of your encouragement. You're being consistently, even if someone is not interested, you would just repetitively kind of try to encourage and do it. And that's how
That's how the
I
Bhagavatam is, no?
got. What's that?
That's how Bhagavatam is, right? That's
I
how
don't
Bhagavatam
know
is trying
if
to come into each of our lives, no?
Bhagavatam is doing it through devotees like you
Yeah.
who have love for Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah, and actually Ravi and Harini are also by Krishna's mercy regularly reading.
Mm.
And every time we talk and we say it's all glorious to you, Prabhuji, that you at least got us into that path to try and read. So thank you so much.
Yeah. The way Prabhupada does things is very amazing and magical. He wants to make whoever comes to his shelter, even, open to his shelter, he doesn't want to step back. So then, he tries to, you know, bring auspiciousness through engaging in his services to auspicious people. Yeah. Okay. Mataji's and Prabhuji's. Hare Krishna. Grantara Shilam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Prem.
Hare
Thank you very, very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.